So, you're making a game. You have a procedurally generated map and a moving character on top. Now, you just want him to move here. Oh right, he has no clue what do you mean. Have you ever wondered how do in-game characters know where to go or which route to take? The algorithm that calculates that is called Pathfinding, and we're going to make that today. Let's start with what we have. We have a list of every hex in our game with an individual ID. We also have another list which tells us what type of hex it is and if it's taken. Our heavy primal cannot cliff walk, so we will have to make sure he may only walk on solid ground below. We also have a function we use during map generation, which calculates distance between any two hexes. Note, however, that this function doesn't know if there are obstacles in the way. Finally, our primal can move one hex in all 6 directions. So, if you were to use these elements to make our guy move anywhere on the grid, where would you start? Well, actually there are some basics for us to still cover here. Let's imagine we want to move here. What would be the final step? Since we have one hex movement done, all we need for our journey is a list of hexes our primal will walk on. From it, we may calculate the directions between them and loop our one hex movement through them. Voila! Our primal walks. But now comes the tricky part. How do we know which hexes should we walk on? In this case, decision is easy. Since the primal is walking in a straight line, with no obstacles, we just follow the shortest path. But in this case, we have to loop around. For us humans, it is obvious to understand, because we can see the whole picture. For computer, however, it looks something more like this. Yeah, we'll come back to that. Finally, in case such as this, the algorithm has to know that solution doesn't exist. Okay, so now when we know some details, we can begin. First, we may use those first 2 lists I mentioned in the beginning. We can create a new list where we store all the viable hexes in our case. So we take our main hex ID and subtract every position which isn't flat from our second list. Awesome! Now our primal will never walk through unavailable terrain. Algorithm will never see those hexes in a way. Actually, I like this seeing metaphor quite a lot, so let's take it one step further. Imagine our pathfinding algorithm as doing 2 things. Getting to see new options and choosing from them. In the beginning, the algorithm sees just the starting hex, so we have to feed him more information. Specifically, we tell him to which hexes he can move to next. But wait, how do we know which ones are these? Well, we just need hexes adjacent to the hex that was last considered. In that case, it's the starting hex. We can just use our distance measuring algorithm to loop through all the hexes we can use. If distance is equal to exactly 1, we know this hex is adjacent. Great! So now we've displayed all the adjacent hexes. Now the choosing part. You may imagine all this as exploration. We are not choosing path yet, we are trying to guess how to more or less get to the finish. Knowing we have to get to the end right there, which hex would you use with this limited information? Algorithm considers 2 things. First one is distance. It measures it from each available hex. The lower the better. Second one is distance walked. The path to target with less steps is superior to that with more steps. Again, lower the better. We sum those up and choose a hex with lowest value. Awesome! Now we have to loop through this and do it all again. We search for adjacent tiles and show them to the algorithm. Then we choose a new tile, such that we have not chosen before, which has the lowest sum of estimated distance and distance walked. Then we do it all again. After 3 steps, we got to the target. But it was easy. Let's do something harder. Now, let's look at what would the algorithm do to loop around the mountains. First, everything goes as we would assume. He chooses the shortest path and goes straight to the right. But notice what happens in this step. He chooses the most right hex and nothing. When we tell the algorithm to reveal new hexes, nothing pops up. We, of course, know that the cliff is there, but the algorithm doesn't see those hexes at all. For the computer they realistically do not exist. But since the program found nothing, he cannot go there, so while choosing another step, he just uses the hexes he previously revealed, and he does it as usual, based on the criteria we give him. In this case, he chose this hex. You may see his progress as a blind wave rushing towards the end, but bouncing off the walls and never trying the same approach twice. If the hex is blocked in red, he will not go there again. It's like playing battleships. He is not really moving, but rather revealing the map. It is probably best illustrated if we leave the target in the unreachable area in the bottom right. Look how the algorithm searches for it. When all the map is covered in red, he stops the search, knowing that solution is impossible. So, let's come back to our previous example of looping around the mountains. We revealed the end goal, so to speak, but it isn't a path we can use yet. We have too many hexes marked red. Some of them we will never use. So we have to backtrack. Now we tell the program to only see hexes marked red. And now, what matters most to us is not the white sum we considered earlier, but rather distance walked. Let's make it bigger. You can see as this number increases as we go further towards the end goal. As we are backtracking, we will always choose hex with distance walked lower than previous. You can see that the program won't choose failed attempts that way because they have this parameter set too high. You may imagine it as a branch of a tree. We are walking downwards, so we will never go up again to other branches. Now, if we reverse the path we took while backtracking, we have our long desired path and we may send our primal his own way. Congratulations! You may not know this, but we have just created what's called the Asterix algorithm? A star algorithm? I don't really know how it's pronounced, but it is written this way. It's one of many pathfinding algorithms into D, and quite good while we're at it. I hope you find this part of game making interesting. The effect is simple and obvious. What you can see on screen is present in almost every game, but not everyone knows just how difficult it is to make. So, I hope you learned something new. If you like what I am doing here, consider giving me a like or a sub. I will do my best to post once a week. Oh, and hit me with anything in the comments. I try my best to reply to each and every one of you. Until next time, cheers!